That will be resolved soon. So we're going to wait before we choose a new national focus, actually. The Kavkaz Society. We live in a society. What else should I... oh, here we go, the Weimar Pact. The election of Heinrich Brandler as the chairman of the KPD has led to an opening of backseat channels between the abstract communists and the new good SPD government through the selection of new leadership has given the party a new outlook heading into the snap elections. The coalition parties' politics of this proletarian republic make certain conclusions inescapable. Without allies to the right and the ASPD, the SPD is going to need to look to more revolutionary parties to form a government and polish their credentials as socialist. Chairman Brandler has proven amenable to being realistic in his demands. The option is open for the SPD to make a show of cooperation, perhaps in the neutral town of Weimar, and hammer out an agreement to reduce the amount of campaigning against each other, then start making plans for the future in government. Oh dear. But of course, some of the party's right-wing, who are mostly the architects of Levi's domestic policy, find the prospect of governing with the KPD unpalatable. The hope is that the disorganization of other potential coalitions will allow the SPD to come out of the election with a commanding plurality, or some optimists to contend a majority and be able to form a coalition after the fact by badgering the lesser parties into being realistic, and so we must decide humor to the KPD or not. No. And again, there is a reason for this. You'll see. It's gamer time. Mongolian People's Army. Ah, okay, this guy. I know who this is. This was the original leader of the Mongolian People's Republic, I believe. Now, report on the March actions. I might stop reading all this, but you can if you want to. Just because this is essentially just going over some of the unrest in Austria. Yeah, Austria. These at all costs. I just want to get this moving a little bit, but you can definitely read that if you'd like. It's pretty interesting. Actually, can I do military focus? I don't want to do that yet because we're not going to be social democracy. Can I? Volkswagen. What about the infantry? Volkswagen. Okay, there we go. The People's Army. I think that's what that means. Oh, yeah, Denmark's on our side too, I guess. Actually, who is on our side? Oh. Okay, so Levi faces scrutiny. So, yeah, nobody really likes Paul Levi for some reason. Again, you can read that if you want to. I'm going to wait until I actually get to the meet before I start reading again. Okay, so changing the Red Guard. So essentially, this is like Levi's going to retire. And I'll go with Meyer. A renewal of vows. Now this is actually important. Paul Levi's disgrace and the news of snap elections have led to a recession strategy of all parties at the German political scene, and for the nationalist cohort there are no exceptions. There is a surprising amount of overlap between the political organizations, given the lack of conventional right-wing nationalist party on the German political scene. At the front of the herd is the Deutsche Social Republikanische Party, DSRP, I hope I pronounced that right, which has been the popular standard bearer of German nationalism since its official founding in 1923, after the leadership of Heinrich Offenberg and Fritz Wolfheim left the SPD over issues between the Hamburg-based organization and the national program of the party. However, it also draws membership from the Group Social-Revolutionär Nationalisten Camp, GSR, and now the SNRP, which started in the German Revolution. Naturally, there's as much to disagree about in this conglomeration, and there's to unite them by a substantial portion of the DSRP's basis rural, agricultural, and amenable to religious socialism of the CSABPD. The party is as a whole far more leftist than the SRNP, with its roots in western and northern side of and southern side of the early revolution. In contrast, the SRNP's maximalist revolutionary nationalist program attracts a more urbane and less traditional membership, as well as being a de facto Soldiers' Party due to the origin of being in the soldiers' councils at the eastern side during the early revolution. With German politics in flux, the DSRP leadership must ask itself in some important questions about this relationship, while continuing to work alongside the SRNP on the chances of making a coalition with other parties, while abandoning the nationalist cause of disarray. The party searches for answers. No old acquaintance be forgot. We're going DSRP actually. Here we go. Somehow, the internal drama of the DSRP and its fellow travelers has required more effort to sort out than that of the SPD. Levi's ignominy, I can't pronounce that, but I'm sorry, has presented the revolutionary nationalists with a golden opportunity, and the worst part is they all know it and want to be the one to lead the charge into glory. Nevertheless, despite the passionate arguments, many contenders, the leadership question has begun to revolve around two men who represent vastly different ideas and generations of the party. Ernst Reventlow is the flag bearer of the old guard, so it seems as well the Widukindisch faction. Frustrated by the inability of the old empire to win the last war, the former noble's views soon aligned with the councils of revolting soldiers, and by the mid-20s he had abandoned his titles and political identity. Politically heterodox, the former count is somehow the revolutionary SRNP's most favoured candidate for the DSRP leadership, due to his rhetoric of a national renewal, but also as a favourite candidate of many culturally conservative socialists. His public commitment to intensified licite may prove alienating to some of the voters they seek, however. The new generation ostensibly is represented by Joseph Goebbels, a proponent of the social republic idea. The charismatic propagandist leads the so-called Heckerish faction of the DSRP, a romantic nationalist. The young Goebbels also calls for a renewal, a liberating revolution that evokes the dreams of 1848. His affinity for the German peasantry also gives him an improved capacity to build bridges with the religious CSABPD, but his youth and lack of connection to the old GSRN guard may defer his dreams. Regardless, the party is convened and the ballots handled and mailed out to all members of the organization. After tallying and consideration, the DSRP has found a new chairman and candidate, and that person is What did I tell you? What did I tell you? Hopefully I don't get bonked. So, yeah, if you don't know... Ooh. The paper crunch between his mother tongues. ASPD. What? Oh, okay, never mind. We're not doing what I thought we were doing, but we're doing it anyway because whatever. It's Karl Popper. You thought we were going down the Joseph Goebbels path? Well, so did I, and apparently we both were wrong. Because I forgot how complex the dang... Whatever. We're doing Popper, I guess. The ASPD has triumphed through democracy, yay! This is not just simply an electoral victory, no, but a vindication of everything we stand for. Of program before revolution, of pragmatism, of the eternal walk down the road of socialism in search of a utopia. Now we have come into power, we shall bring about a realistic program and wake this nation of idle dreamers into a new affirmed socialist consciousness. Bruh. So if you don't know who Karl Popper is, he's the guy in the weird memes that you see, the freaking paradox of tolerance meme that people like to throw around willy-nilly. We're gonna bring tolerance to the entire European continent, I guess.